I'm Peter Sidwell, welcome to the Simply Good Food TV kitchen studio. It's time for lunch, so I promised John I would make a beautiful short rib of beef pasty for his lunch. So on Sunday I cooked for my family this lovely stew. Now it is a short rib of beef, and we just cooked it really slowly for about 6 hours, and let me tell you, it is super tender. I mean, can you see that? Falling apart. So what I'm going to do is just take a bowl, just move that food processor over. Let's lift out the beef. Just grab all the little bits. I made sure that I cooked extra because I knew I wanted to cook this dish for leftovers. And if you're going to make this at home, do the same. Leftovers are epic. Delicious. So there's some carrots, there's some onions. I'm just going to scoop them out and kind of try and leave the liquid behind for now. We are going to grab some later though, because it is delicious. I made this very simple, short rib of beef from my local butcher's, pan fried it off, salt, pepper, rosemary, red wine, beef stock, carrots, onions, put the lid on, bunged it in the oven for 6 hours. Hey ho, you've got it. And it is just yummy, perfect for autumn. So, all I'm going to do is just with my spoon, because it's that tender, I'm just going to break the beef up into little pieces. Okay, not too small, just little pieces, and that'll just cool down a little bit. I've warmed it up. Okay, so food processor, I'm going to do quick pastry for you here. Don't worry about using all your hands and your fingertips. 400 grams of flour. This is half self-raising and half plain. Then I've got 200 grams of butter. Okay, and I'm going to make more pastry than I need because I'm going to bung it in the freezer for another day. Just going to break it into chunks. Okay, then I've got a little bit of rosemary here. I'm going to pop that in. Then I've got some thyme. Pop that in. The food processor will do all the work for me on this, which is good. And then a little sprinkle of salt and pepper mixed together that I keep by the hob. And then here we go. I'm just going to pulse this and until it comes to like a fine breadcrumb. Now I'm making Cornish pasties here, but with my short rib. When you make pastry, like the less you work it, the better. The shorter the pastry will be. Now when you're making pasties, you actually need to work the pastry a little bit more, because when you fold them together, they actually need to be tough enough to hold the filling in. So I actually like to mix this a little bit more than I normally would if I was just lining a pie dish or something like that. So keep going. And then I've got some ice cold water, and then once everything's blended together, I'm just going to pour some in a little at a time, and eventually it'll just form a dough. If it starts to go up the sides, just with a fork or a spoon, just push it back down. Okay, and then keep mixing. And you want that ball of dough to be spinning around the mixer. That's it, almost ready. It's really interesting, you can actually hear when it's ready more than you can see it. So, now normally you would stop it, but because we're doing pasties, let's do it for a little bit longer. Here we go. Right. So, let's get this board out of the way. Let's shift that over. Okay, so this is our dough. And we've worked this a little bit more than normal, and you can see those lovely flecks of herbs through there. It's going to taste fantastic. So, rolling pin. Normally you would leave your pastry dough to rest if you can for a little while, maybe 10 minutes or so. Kind of helps. And then all we're going to do is just roll the dough out and then turn it. Try not to add too much flour. Okay. If you have to add a load of flour, then you've kind of got the consistency wrong and you've probably added too much water or not enough. But this will move. So fold it in half I can lift the pastry up. Okay, there we go. So, got a plate here. Just going to cut round the plate, see how many I can get out of this. And there's one. Two. Ooh, not quite. Three. Just a bit more. There we go. I'm going to get 4 out of this first roll. The first roll is always the best. Okay, so we'll just do 4. And then lift the excess away. So we'll save that for later. Use that for something else. And then just lift these up. Make sure that they're not sticking. Because the worst thing you can do is fill them all, get them all egg washed, and then realise they're stuck to the bottom. So lift them up. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so let's take some of this beautiful short rib, get a few of them carrots in there as well, and just place it in the middle. Don't be too tempted to overfill. I know it's easy to do, then you want like loads of the beef in there, but don't overfill them. Just make more pasties and then bob them in the freezer for a rainy day. Okay, beautiful. Oh, this beef, it's making my mouth water. It really was a big success in our house. The kids absolutely loved it because it was rich and it was soft and easy to eat and incredible flavour. I urge you, get to your butchers and buy some short rib. Okay, so that is enough filling there. And then I'm just going to take some of this gravy from the pan, just a little bit, just to kind of make sure that it's lovely and moist and everything. But like the gravy, you know, I'm from Yorkshire, it's all about the gravy. And then I am just going to take some tiny little bits of butter, put one there, just a little piece, not much, just to keep it all extra rich and unctuous and absolutely delicious. That is enough. And then we'll just take an egg, beat that with a pastry brush. Okay, now when you are sealing these, just brush round half of it. If you brush it all the way round, when you lift the two edges together, they'll do that. And they'll slip and slide against the egg wash. Just do half, then lift it together and it will stick. Okay? So there we go. So I'm just washing the front half, getting all the flavour in there. We want it to stay inside the pasty. And then fold it over and then just crimp the edges shut and just leave it on its side for now. We'll get it in a minute. That's it. I used to make hundreds of these a day in my bakery days, so it's kind of taking me back a bit, but I did not use short rib of beef, I'll tell you. Okay, a little bit of flour on my hands, and then we're just going to lift the pasty up and make sure that seal is nice and tight. And then all I'm going to do is just crimp a nice simple, it's very controversial, a crimp in this country. Never quite sure which way around to do it, but I just do it so it works. So there we go, just pinch it shut and straight on there. Now you could freeze them like this, ready, and make extra, or get them straight in the oven. So it's at this point you would freeze them. I'm going to egg wash these and get them straight in the oven. There we go. They are going to bake in the oven, 180 degrees, for about 40 minutes until they're really beautiful and golden and crisp, and all that wonderful short rib should be encased in beautiful buttery pastry.